Computer. Uh, Good morning, guys. Good evening, good afternoon. I know we are on different time zone. So this is Omar. Today's session is about week 3.
Mhm.
First thing first, please check your Moodles. Let me share the Moodle page with you. I just want to show you what we have for this week. So as you can see, week 2, we already done week 2, which I'm happy. For next 3 weeks are very critical. This week, we are again building up some more knowledge. This week, today and tomorrow is going to be pretty much, we cover up the theoretical component of the server. Uh, so, and we will be completing our classroom activity 1, week 3 classroom activity 1 and week 3 classroom activity 2 together. So first we explain some server concepts, and then tomorrow we go to our activity 3. There are two activities which we're going to complete tomorrow. Uh, Today is a very short session, 3-hour session, so I don't think we can complete it today. But we definitely will be finishing our activity 1 and activity 2 belonging to week 3. Okay, so first thing first, let's quickly check some basic things, some important things which are going to do. First thing is Active Directory. We will go through the Active Directory basics very soon. If we cannot finish it, this one, we do it tomorrow. If not tomorrow, we do it next week. Probably we try to cover up some bit of it. We try to cover up everything. I try my best. We have just 3 hours. Okay, let's go to your activity 1. Server application explained. So there are some things associated with any server. And these are your dynamic host controller protocol. Then we have DNS server. Then we need to know what is firewall. Then we need to know what is a proxy server. Then we need to know what is SMB and NES. These are file systems. That's it. These are some important components. I do not want to repeat these things. These are already explained in the videos attached. All I really look forward from you is just go through these part A, B, C, D, and start submitting your this activity. So just go through this part A, write a one-pager report, then part B, write a one-pager report, part C, one-pager report, part D, one-pager report. So I'm expecting 4 pages, each part A, B, C, D, each part 1 page each. And submit your findings or report, self-reflection report in 1 hour. Okay, it's 105, 106. So I want every one of you just start going through. So first activity, for example, I just clicked the video, DHCP explained. It's a few minutes video. It's not a long video. It will take you 5-10 minutes maybe if you want to watch it again. So this is about the video. You go through the video and then write a one-pager report. This is your part A. And similarly, go through part B and write a one-pager. Write a one-pager. Similarly, go through part C. It has 2 things. And write a one-pager report. Where is one-pager? Here you go. For both, 1 page. So 3 pages so far. Part D, again 1 page. One-pager report. Any questions you have so far? So I'm going to stop this screen for now. And I'm gonna pause the recording. You have exactly 1 hour to complete your week 1, activity 1. So let's start. I'm going to pause this video again. Week 3, activity 1, there are 4 parts. Each part require you to write a one-pager report. This means you have to write 4 pages. Okay, and then submit it. Submit your work in Moodle. I will have a look and I will give you a feedback. So in roughly 1 hour, we actually start doing our week 2 activity 2. Week 2 activity 2 will require some explanation. So I will run you through that 15-20 minutes before we start doing our week 3 activity 2. Okay. Any questions you have so far? Do you understand what we will be doing? Okay, I assume if you did not say it or not asking any question, I assume you understand what you're supposed to do. Okay, so I leave you doing it. I'm going to pause this video. Okay, guys, I was expecting that everyone would have submitted their week 3 activity 1, but only few people have done it. I was hoping that we move on to the serious topic of today after building up this concepts. What I strongly recommend you is that you do your activity 1, week 3 activity 1. Please complete that in next 10 minutes. Do you have any questions? Prince, how do you go with the assessment with the week 3 activity 1? Okay, no one. Any one of you want to talk about week 3 activity 1? A bit summary, what did you learn? Anyone? Salbi? Sarthak? Okay. For some, it's very easy. They already know the concepts. And I suggested them that they keep on moving to the online activities, which is based on Tuesdays, which is hands-on stuff. Guys, there's a project coming soon. Next week, I will soon open a project, which is a 3-week project, which is a training room, online Tuesday classroom project. And on Mondays, we keep on pushing the Active Directory, small things, some bits and pieces. But for Tuesdays, we have a one full project, which is going to be 3 week long. Hopefully you will complete it by week 6 or maximum week 7. This will help you to get ready for your assessments. Okay, so quick one, actually, I just want to take you through what we did a short while ago. So what we did is we actually understand very well that what are our different server things. For example, let me open up the activity, which is activity 1. Just want to have a quick review. Okay, so DHCP, this video, DHCP explain video, explain us that there is a dynamic host control protocol. So this means that whenever we have a computer on a network that assigned an IP address, so who will assign the IP address to a computer? So somebody has to assign an IP address. So if we have 2 options for assigning an IP address to a computer on a network. One is that we go and check the network planning document, check our computer, what is the computer number, and check that this is what IP is assigned. Statically is assigned an IP address. So we can just go and check the IP address in our master plan, network plan, and then we can get the IP. This is a very difficult thing, actually. Few computers we can handle by first time. We can assign the IP address to each computer, but it's not practically possible when we have hundreds of computers. So what we do is we install a network service, which is DHCP service. And that service actually, whenever you boot your computer, will automatically assign you an IP address. And why IP address is important? this IP address will take you and help you to get your data from internet and send data on the internet. So there is no other way. This is how it is done. So DHCP server, when we configure this server on Microsoft Windows 2019 server, this DHCP server help us to allocate to IP addresses automatically, dynamically. So whenever we have a system down, it take the IP address away, and whenever system is up, it gives an IP address. Now, there are certain services in DHCP server or features in DHCP server which lease you an IP address for a day, for less than a day. So you can lease an IP address for a day. And once the duration is over, it takes the IP address back. Sometimes we have IP conflict issues. So in that situation, we have to restart the computer, restart the network element, which should not happen, but sometimes it happens. So as we discussed, the DHCP server, which can be configured on Windows Network Server 2019, it assigns IP address automatically, dynamically. So in your report, this would be your answer. Now, part B is domain name systems. The IP address is the sole responsibility is to send your data to your remote machines and fetch data from the remote machines. There is no other way. Routing is done at the networking layer, and IP is responsible. IP, Internet Protocol, this is responsible. The popular Internet Protocol is IPv4. It was first traditional. Now IPv6, which is 64-bit, but the classic IPv4 is 32-bit address. Traditionally, when I started browsing my websites, that was way back in 92, 93, 91, 90s. I used to punch in the full IP address, and where I used to get the IP address, I used to get IP address from the university journals. For example, I get into the Stanford University IP address. I used to punch in the Harvard IP address to get to the Harvard IP website. So we used to get these IP addresses in late 80s, early 90s from the journals, from the different universities. And we used to go and we used to punch in, for example, 110.2.3.29 is an IP address of some university, a random university. I don't remember the exact name, but we use that IP address. But as you can see, I cannot remember all the IP addresses of all the universities, all the businesses in the world. And this is human inefficiency. Women only understand text. They do not understand numbers. So they have to remember the numbers, but for text it's easy. abc.com, xyz.com. There are tons of combinations. Most of the website addresses are human intelligible. So IBM.com, google.com, I know. Any company who has a website, they are simple.com.au. I don't know the IP address of that company, but at the back end, there is some name of the website which is mapped to an IP address. So any server which provide this services, which translate the domain names to corresponding IP address, is a domain name system. So in Windows Server 2019, we will be installing our DNS server as well. So the DNS server will be responsible to provide us the IP address of the website or any services, any application level protocol we want to run on. So this will give us an IP address translation. So whenever we actually go and check go and browse a website, we always request a DNS resolution service, we always request a DNS server to please provide us the IP address of that domain name actually. So whenever we browse a website, the first thing which a browser does is it sends a request to the domain name system to resolve the domain name and provide the corresponding IP address. So this is a domain name system job. The part C is firewall. There are ways of implementing firewall. I think that video explained in the this is very self-sufficient. But in short, in nutshell, we have a soft firewall, we have a hard firewall. But the firewall responsibility is that anything connected to the firewall, to the external to the world, cannot get into our domain, cannot get to our computers unless we allow it to. Similarly, any service which is prohibited is configured in the firewall and we cannot access to it as per the company policy. That's simple firewall. This is also explained. Proxy server is very interesting. If you are browsing data and you do not want the world to know whose computer is this, for example, we have hundreds of computers connected and everyone is connecting to a server, a remote machine, and that remote machine will know whose computer we are talking. But if we want to hide that information and we just want to say that, okay, just connect the world, internet world, through this server machine, that server machine will get the request of you, what kind of website you are browsing, and fetch the data for you and keep the data, keep the log, and keep the website in their web proxy server. So they keep a copy of that website, and whenever you actually try to fetch that website one more time and there's no change in that website data, your proxy web server simply provide that information to you without wasting the internet bandwidth. So this is the one of the benefit of a proxy server. Proxy server know which computer has requested this service, so it handle accordingly. But once it has the website visited, it keep it in the cache for some time based on the configuration. So probably we will be also doing the proxy server installation and configuration in Windows Server 2019, but we will be mostly focusing on the Active Directory for time being. Part D, there are the directory and file systems which are supported. One is SMB, the other is NES. But the main job is to give access to the computers on the network. So basically these were part A, B, C, and D, which I was going through with you guys. These are important. So what I really want you to do is, if you have not completed your week 3 activity 1, you can complete your week 3 activity 1. I know I cannot explain all these things again and again because we have time limitations and we only run this session on Mondays. Tuesdays, you can always ask me a question because some people cannot join on Monday. I encourage you to come and join this session. But if you cannot, these videos are very self-explanatory and you can watch them again and again. But once you watch them, make sure you put up your 4-page document for this submission. Only 3 people have submitted this so far out of 27, a group of 27. So please do so as soon as possible. It's already 1 hour and 15 minutes down of this session. We have lots of other things to do. So I give you again 10 more minutes, 12 more minutes. We start in 12 minutes again, and we go to our next topic, which is Active Directory. So we go to our activity 2, week 3, activity 2. That is what we are going to start very shortly. If you have any question on week 3, activity 1, I am here to answer you. Thank you. Okay, any of you who have completed week 3, activity 1, you can please start week 3, activity 2. This is a lot of work. We may not finish it in today, in next 1 hour or so. I don't think we can complete it today, so we will continue doing it. And I will run through a quick summary of these videos tomorrow, or maybe by the end of today's session. I think it's good if I run with you end of this session, maybe 10 minutes to give you an idea overall what it is. And tomorrow we continue learning it. So any one of you who have completed week 3 activity 1, please start week 3 activity 2. You will have a couple of videos which you can go back and watch again and again and again. These are important concepts before we actually start implementing the Active Directory. If you have time, if you get time today, or if you get time tomorrow, after completing your weekly online activities, you can start configuring your Active Directory domain system, not putting up the system into it, just installing, kind of configuring Active Directory, DNS server, DHCP server, securities, or Active Directory certificate services. So you can just do that. Actually, I will explain it next week when we exclusively working on Active Directory. We put up a small project in Active Directory so that you know what it is used for. So for time being, I strongly recommend you can start attempting your week 3 activity 2. If you have any question, I'm available. So let me know. This is a very good question asked by Prince. What do we need to prepare for a presentation? So you will be watching a couple of videos, I think 3 videos. I do not expect that you watched video number 3, but video number 1 and 2, they are very important basic build up knowledge base for you. They will build up some knowledge base for you. So go through that videos. You must explain what is the function of Active Directory domain systems, how they are being, what is a forest, what is a domain object, what are the other objects, and general features of Active Directory domain systems. Okay, these are very important. You need to explain them very clearly. So 3 to 7 slides, 5 to 7 minutes presentation.
Doctor, okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yes, anyone else? No one? Anyone have a question? So thank you so much for today. So if you have any question, so what we have covered this week in this session is week 3 activity 1, you must do it. We covered DNS, DHCPs, firewall, and file system in a typical Windows server. And we also covered what is Active Directory, what is a forest, what are the objects, how we physically group the physical resources like printers, like computers, like fax machines, like asterisk servers, and how logically we group different resources together in Active Directory. So we just theoretically covered things. We haven't actually really started configuring and implementing any project in Active Directory. We will start doing it. We will design a project based on requirements in a typical small office environment. We implement it in Active Directory next week. So this week, it was just a background getting you ready for the big work next week. Remember, important thing, by the end of this course, these 2 courses, these 2 units, you should be able to get a desktop support job. But thank you so much for today. If you have any questions, still online for another 10 minutes. All the best. Thank you.